Smile, be, chat, join for networking.
Hey everyone. How amazing is this? 4NTV. Who'd have known 12 months ago when I joined 4N that I'd be stood here being filmed for 4NTV? I mean, what a journey. It's been absolutely fantastic. I've built up such a support network and it's been absolutely amazing. And that's what my story's about today. I wanted to share with you my journey, why I do what I do, and why my values work really well with what I do as a business. So is that okay? Yeah. Okay, so I'm Rachel. I was born in 1981 in Birmingham. Not that you can tell much. I spent a lot of time as a child at my grandma's house, and it was my favourite place to be. And the reason it was my favourite place to be is that she took so much time out to let me do what I wanted to do. She used to put all of her fabulous ballroom shoes in the hallway and I'd play shoe shops with them. In fact, I think that's where I got my shoe fetish from. My husband thinks I'm a centipede. But the other part of my child life, I spent a lot of time in hospital. I was a really poorly child, so much so they actually gave my mum a job. She was a PA to the midwifery council. But whilst I was there, I spent a lot of time looking at the nurses and what they did. And, do you know, to me, that was really magical. They went out of their way, completely selfless, to make people feel better. And they're two things that have gone with me throughout my whole life. The time that my grandma took out for me and the care that the nurses gave to children to make them feel better, which, ironically, my top two values are kindness and caring. Fast forward a few years and I'm in high school. A few weeks back, I'm at mum's house sorting through all these old pictures as you meant to. I was meant to be helping her clean, but... and I found my report card from high school, first ever one, and there were like loads of tutors talking about me. But they all said the same thing. Rachel's progressing well, she's got lots of friends, she never sits down, she doesn't shut up. She spends far too much time helping everybody else do their work rather than concentrating on her own. Which again is something quite ironic because a couple of months ago I had a university assignment deadline to reach. The deadline was creeping up, I'd been away, time going, and I had to sit up all night the night previous for the deadline to get it in on time. So things never change. Again, fast forwarding after school, it's no wonder that I went to work with people. I actually went to do a nursing degree in mental health. Bit mental. But what happened, I was a bit young, I was a bit naive, I got myself into a lot of debt, so I went and got a part-time sales job. Loved it. It was my calling in life, absolutely adored it. I was getting paid to sit on the phone all day, every day, talking. Who knew? The teachers told me to sit down and shut up, and I was earning loads of money for doing it, so they were wrong, weren't they? So as time went on with that, I built myself right the way up to the top. I was sales manager, I loved it, I earned loads of commission, I got to buy loads of pairs of shoes, I loved designer perfume, I loved going out with the girls. 2006, I was the best at my job. I was absolutely fantastic at it. My customers meant the world to me. I'd spend all day talking to them about their dogs, their mothers, their cats, their brothers, whatever. I connected with them on Facebook, I poked them, 2006. Communication at its best, we poke people, that's what we do, isn't it? But yeah, I did really well in that role. And the reason I did really well is because I made time and cared for my customers. So 2010 came, I'm 29. My dad spent my wedding fund on an extension because he thought I was never going to settle down. I met the love of my life, I settled down and I became pregnant. Things changed massively for me, huge. I became a mother and do you know what? I didn't care anymore about those shoes. I didn't care anymore about the money. All I cared about was that little bundle of joy in front of me. And at 6 weeks old, that little smile, there's no way I was going back to driving up and down the country for loads of commission, no way whatsoever. And it was that special that 19 months later I did it again. 2 little bundles of joy, up to my elbows in nappies, stinking of odour baby vomit. Rachael Shalloe, the domesticated goddess. Our house was clean to an inch of its life. I'd sold everything that I could possibly sell on Facebook car boot sites. Rich was nailing stuff down. He was coming home from work, there was less and less stuff. I was buying more and more stuff, something had to change. So what came along was a volunteer role. And I went to volunteer at a local soft play centre, mother and toddler group. This soft play centre supported a charity that supported parents whose children had been abducted. When I got there, I heard a story. An 18-month-old boy had been abducted by his mother, taken away from his father, taken to a country a village called Laos, on the borders of Thailand, a small village, not very much clean water, you know, none of the stuff that we've got around us. The father stuck here in the UK not knowing what to do. This child, not only had he been taken by his mother, the mother then absconded to the nearest city to go and find herself another man. An 18-month-old boy with his grandma he'd never met, who didn't speak a word of English, in a mud hut with no clean water, abused and undernourished. So to me, I needed to do more for this charity. So I started to do lots and lots of fundraising. I raised loads of money, raised loads of awareness for them. We went off to London to a big corporate event, absolutely fantastic, although never do London on a charity budget. We arrived at our destination, a hostel, a sink, a bunk bed, a wardrobe, and what I didn't know was the bed creaked and my mate snored really loud. It was the worst 2 days of my life, but on a good note, I came back with some fantastic ideas. So I came back, walked into the charity founder, I said, you know this petition that we're working on and all these signatures we've got? He says, yeah. He says, right. I said, how are you going to get it to Downing Street? He said, well, I don't know, I haven't thought about that. I said, how about your hand delivery? He went, yeah, that's a good idea, right? I said, he said, so how will we get there then, on the train? I said, no, you'll walk. He went, what? I said, you'll walk. So we planned a walk from Cannock in Staffordshire to number 10 Downing Street to raise awareness for the charity. Guess what? It worked. I stayed behind monitoring it all on social media, doing the important stuff. A couple of days in, we got a phone call from researchers for the Lorraine show, wanted to book the founder to go on the Lorraine show. I got a telephone call from a lady called Alison Mackenzie. She's a national news presenter. She personally wanted to meet the people that were walking at the finish line and interview them. Job done. Nationwide visibility for the charity. Awesome. Finished. Done. Finish line was fantastic. MP there. We got loads of press coverage. We were in the Sun, we were in the Mail, we were in the Telegraph, loads. But as the dust started to settle over the next week or so, something really special happened. We took a telephone call from a lady that lived in Manchester. Her son had been taken 12 months previously by her estranged, violent husband on an access visit in Turkey. It was a non-Hague country. The laws here didn't apply there. She had to return home without her child. 12 months she'd been fighting for this child. We got a private investigation team to look into this story. They located the father and he was wanted by the Turkish government for his violence. There was a warrant out for his arrest. There was a deal made between the private investigation team and the Turkish authorities that we would be able to take the child back to the UK if we gave them the location of the man. So the mother, the team went out. 6 weeks before Christmas 2013, November, mother and son returned to the UK. Now that is return on investment from social media. Thank you.
Smile, be a chat, join for networking.